Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new chapter of Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another chapter, thank you so much for giving me a listen. If you love the show, drop me a review over on your favorite podcast app, or you can become a patron over at patreon.com/oldmanbrad. So this week I have another new film for you, a new film that just came out from Dread Presents, and it's called He Never Left. This is a movie that I had been kind of following along for a while because the writers and directors, James Morris and Michael Baloff, I enjoy a couple of their movies. So I follow their production company, Witching Season Films, online. So I'm just kind of keeping track of this. So I was really excited to check this one out. And I will be giving my thoughts on that here very soon. But before I do, if you're in the Cincinnati area, come out to Frightful Fridays on the third Friday of the month. At the Esquire Theater, I'm so thankful to host a horror film once a month. And our screening for December is Don't Open Till Christmas from 1984. This is a crazy grindhouse slasher with some behind-the-scenes problems, but it's hitting its 40th anniversary, just like Silent Night, Deadly Night. They both came out in the same year. But come out December 20th at 10 p.m. and let's watch a movie together. It's time to jump into He Never Left.
I'm looking for a room.
How many guests?
Just one.
He's not that smart. You know we'll catch him.
Stop it! So where is he?
Maybe Paleface is back.
So what the hell happened? Gabe.
You know what? Look, I take responsibility for my choices in life, okay? I know what consequences are, but it's a two-way street.
After hearing disturbing noises from the next motel room, a fugitive on the run and his girlfriend become prey to the notoriously brutal Paleface Killer, whose legend has haunted the local community for decades. This is written by James Morris, Michael Baloff, Colin Cunningham, and directed by James Morris. It stars Colin Cunningham, Jessica Staples, James Morris, and many others. And like I said at the top, this is a movie that I was looking forward to. I follow James Morris and Michael Baloff's production company, Witching Season Films. I'm a big fan of The Witching Season, and they live inside us. And I'm really excited to see The Witching Season 2 that they're working on now. I gave to the Indiegogo for that film, so I'm really looking forward for when that comes out. But this one has been in the works for quite some time. I think it was in 2022, I believe, that they really started putting a lot of stuff out there for this. It took a while to finally get it out there for us to see. And from the cover of this film, when you see the cover, you see the Paleface Killer with his mask, and it's like this retro look, and you think, oh, this is going to be like a Halloween-esque slasher. And that's what I thought it might be. It is not a slasher film. This is a movie that really dives into many other things. Colin Cunningham, who plays the character Gabriel, he is a fugitive. He just got out of jail. He is struggling to find a job, and he finds one at this like snow cone place, and it's not going well. You know, he's 40 years old, scooping snow cones, and he's having issues. And his boss is a 17-year-old. Something happens, they get into argument, he kills him. So now he's on the run. His girlfriend, Carly, played by Jessica Staples, is helping him kind of hide out until everything blows over and they can get back. But as they're at this hotel, things start to happen. Like, he starts to see visions of the teenager that he killed. He sees visions of the Paleface Killer, who, you know, this movie starts off telling us that the Paleface Killer for decades tormented this community, and then he just stopped. and hadn't been heard from for many years. So the community is kind of getting back to normal, but is he back? Because there's comments, James Morris plays an officer that they're trying to hunt down this man, and they make a comment when they're in a restaurant about a pale-faced killer, and someone hears them, they're like, pale-faced killer's back, the pale-faced killer's back, and he's like, no. So this community is very deeply rooted with this killer. So you think that maybe some shit's gonna happen in this killer because you start out with a scene with him, and then you don't really see him. It's very focused on Colin Cunningham's character, which he is phenomenal in this movie. He is so good. And honestly, I feel like he's acting circles around anybody else who's in this film. But this film really is more psychological. There's some supernatural-esque elements to it. And you finally get the pale-faced killer with a twist towards the end. And then it comes to a close and you're like, I want more. So it really kind of sets itself up for a sequel that I think a lot of people might have issue with it. But for me, I freaking love this movie. I thought it was really good. Colin Cunningham is, like I said, is really, really good in the movie. When you get past the point where you're like, oh, this really isn't a slasher, and don't think about that. Don't think like, okay, the pale-faced killer is going to show up and he's going to just start this murder spree through people. That doesn't happen. He hears basically what sounds like someone dies next door and some other things. I'm going to keep this spoiler-free. Some other things happen and you find out what's going on. Pale-faced killer shows up. There are some twists with that whole thing. Just that build-up, that lead-up, the great acting that we got from Colin Cunningham and his character, Gabriel, is so good. I was just hooked in and really sucked into the story. I didn't care that we didn't get a full-on slasher. I didn't care that it was different than what my brain originally thought it was going to be. And I love that. I love that it was something different. I love that it kind of took a turn differently than you think it might. And you get the killer, but it doesn't turn out exactly how you thought it might. And then, like I said, they leave you kind of open-ended at the end, ripe for a sequel. Give me He Never Left 2 because I'm all in for this. I think the next one would be a full-on, the pale-faced killer goes on a rampage type of thing. This is a high recommend from me. I really enjoyed He Never Left, and it's out on VOD to rent right now. It comes out on Blu-ray in January, which I ordered it right after I watched this. But go check out He Never Left. And if you see it, let me know what you think of it. See if you really enjoyed it as much as I did. Well, on my way out, my recommendations for you to watch right now, both of these are on Tubi. They're two other films from Michael Baloff and James Morris. They've been involved in the 1031 movies. They've done other short films and stuff like that. But they had two other films, one called They Live Inside Us from 2020, and another one called The Witching Season. The Witching Season is set up more like a TV show. It's an anthology story. It's 5 episodes, and each story is something different. There are a few little things that kind of connect throughout, but it's really set up as an anthology. I really, really liked it. They are currently working on The Witching Season 2. I'm excited to check it out. I think next year is when it's supposed to drop. So I'm going to be looking for The Witching Season 2. You can watch the first Witching season. Like I said, it's broken out like a 5 episodes of TV show. I think each one is maybe 20 to 30 minutes max. It's on Tubi. Their other film, They Live Inside Us, is also on Tubi. And it is another, I don't want to say another anthology-esque, but James Morris's character, he plays a writer, so you get a lot of different things coming at you. But both these films are on Tubi. You should go check them both out and go rent He Never Left. Well, that will do it for another chapter of Old Man Brad. I will be back later this week with Nutcracker Massacre with my friend Dan from Stacking Triggers. Just make sure you subscribe to the show and you will never miss any chapter, any episode of Tales from Tubi, any of the holiday of horror that's coming out. Last week we did Black Friday with my wife, Nutcracker Massacre with Dan this week. And then the episodes coming out soon, I have Christmas Bloody Christmas with Brett from Dissect That Film, Black Christmas with my buddy Gerald from Two Peas on a Podcast, and Drew from Real Feels Podcast. We're going to talk the anthology Christmas Horror Story. But I'll be back soon. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.